Now, the best thing I can say about Incredible Mandy is that it's fine. It's about the level we used to expect from a game released on Steam. You know, before the floodgates were opened. It's not bad, but there are a few issues that ruin the experience, and I didn't finish Incredible Mandy because of them. Didn't want to spend any more of my time playing it. Okay, not a great start to this video, but let's cover what makes Incredible Mandy good. The game has a distinct look to it, and I like it, especially the later levels as they're all visually unique. What's amazing is how every level is designed to be as open as possible. I mean that literally. They're an open floor plan. They have large areas with no walls, and it allows the player to see their future. They can't anticipate what's coming up in a level. If you see something strange in the distance, you can assume you're gonna get there. It was an excellent design decision and made me want to keep playing to see what could happen to me in the distance. The puzzles are another strong part of the game. However, not because they're difficult, but rather because they're uncommon. Sure, moving objects around a level to get to a new ledge, that's been done before. But has it been done with a giant robot? Helping a giant robot move around the level and then using them to help yourself is satisfying. Much better than doing it yourself. It reinforces the theme that you're too weak to move anything large yourself. Also, most of the puzzles incorporate the environment, which changes with each level, so Incredible Mandy expands on the puzzles as it continues. The light sword is interesting too, and leads to some of the best puzzles in the game. It can be stabbed into the floor and the walls, and if you place two close enough, a link will be formed between them. In this way, you can chain them together, so when you destroy one, like a chain reaction, they all will explode. For example, you can stab one into each part of a propeller. It will then create a chain as you move the propeller around, and then when you destroy the one closest to you at the bottom, it will wrap around and destroy the top one as well, explode, and hit a button. It's at least different enough from the normal switches and levels I see in a lot of games. But as I said, the puzzles aren't difficult. You'll arrive at a puzzle and say to yourself, "Oh, I get it," and then complete the puzzle. If you see a switch, then you'll have to end up using it to get by. You can feel your way through most of the puzzles, and they're pretty small in scope. You're not figuring out so much as trying to continue along a linear path and remove whatever is blocking the path. This is more of a warning though, because I found the linear path to be quite pleasant. Where you might find a bit more difficulty is in the bosses. Going along with the main character's lack of strength, you can't attack any of the bosses head on. Instead, they all have a puzzle to expose their weak point. Once exposed, you can take a few whacks at it. The bosses get better as the game goes on. Not only do they get more complex, but the way to defeat them gets stranger. Okay, now for the bad, and of course it's the controls. They lack a certain level of polish, especially considering how this game looks. The first part of that, and least annoying issue, is the strange physics. You know what? I get it. Physics is difficult, especially when the player is standing on a moving platform. Incredible Mandy gets a little weird and it can lead to missed jumps. Sucks, but that's not the end of the world. Worse though is when combat is added. Trying to line up the main character to attack an enemy is a pain in the ass. It's hard to judge the distance, and you'll probably miss a few swings. It's very annoying to deal with enemies, but I'm more annoyed and confused by the enemies being in the game at all. I know the main character has a sword, but they don't have to use it. Seems like to me this goes against the theme of the game. Lots of puzzles and lack of strength of the main character. Like how the bosses can't be attacked directly. Oddly, there is a choice when starting the game to select if you care about combat. Of course, I'm up for the challenge, but I wonder what my experience would have been if I had selected the other choice. All of that said, I'm not sure it matters. You see, Incredible Mandy isn't difficult. You can take so many hits, and the health bar is huge. Also, the health regenerates after a fight. I wouldn't be surprised if this was because of the controls. Otherwise, it wouldn't make any sense. And while we're talking about game design, let's go over a few other couple weird design decisions. As much as I complained about the combat, you can run right around the enemies, so they're pointless anyway. All the sword recharge stations scattered around are also pointless. The sword has such a big charge pull, it almost never runs out. Also, the developer isn't going to screw you. There's plenty of charge stations around, you know? They don't want you to get stuck, so they're everywhere. Kind of makes the mechanic trivial. Side note, there are many places where the game feels unfinished too. You'll clip through grass or be able to jump up an impossible slope. It allows you to go what seems to be out of bounds. It's really not difficult to do it. Overall, Incredible Mandy has some highlights that initially make it attractive, but I'm meh on it. If you can get past the combat and strange physics, then you might find something here. The boss design is refreshing. I put huge stock into a game's controls, and Incredible Mandy doesn't cut it. If the developer was listening, I would tell them, do not give up though. They have a great game inside of them, and I would love to play the next one.